Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.
It's January 15th, 1966, and the Boston Bruins have arrived at Maple Leaf Gardens for a mid-season clash with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're watching Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. The Boston Bruins have John Busick, Murray Oliver, and former Leaf Ron Stewart in their lineup. The Leafs counter with Frank Mahovlich, Dave Keon, and George Armstrong. Hello once again, everyone. I'm Joe Bowen, and welcome to Molson Sunday Night Classics here on Leafs TV. The Maple Leafs are hoping to take advantage of the perennial doormats in the National Hockey League, the Boston Bruins in the mid-60s, as they are trying to close the gap on third-place Detroit in the standings before traveling to Detroit tomorrow night to tangle with the Red Wings. The Bruins are destined to miss the postseason once again. They've just 18 points in the first 35 games of this season. The Leafs have 37 points in 34 games, and they trail Chicago, Montreal, and Detroit in the NHL standings. The guardians of the Gilded Gazebos are rookie Bernie Perron for the Boston Bruins, destined for the Hockey Hall of Fame, and also a future Hockey Hall of Famer veteran John Bauer in goal for the Leafs. It's January 15th, 1966, the Leafs and Bruins, and this is Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. The Boston Bruins are in another rebuilding process. Rookies Perron, Bill Goldsworthy, and Gilles Marat are joined by veterans Busick and Pye McKenzie. The Leafs, after 3 consecutive Stanley Cups in the 60s, are searching for the right combination to get back into the Cup final. It has veterans led by Keon, Kelly, and Horton. Britt Selby is another in the long line of graduates from the Toronto Marlboros junior hockey organization that makes the Maple Leaf lineup. The Kingston, Ontario native had 44 goals and 88 points in his final junior year after winning the Memorial Cup in 1964. In December of 1965, Selby, as a rookie in the NHL, captured the Calder Trophy as the top first-year player, the last Leaf to have done so. And Britt Selby joins us today to talk a little bit about that 1965-66 team, a team that was searching to find its way to get back into things. But before we do that, your very first effort in the National Hockey League, we have some video of that, and you didn't wear the normal number, did you?
No, I wore number 8. In January, Ronnie Ellis came down with a concussion, and I remember the day vividly because Imlach called me in and we negotiated a contract, and I played on a Saturday night against Detroit, and the first shift of the game I was against Howe. And after playing against Detroit, I don't know if we won or tied, one or the other, otherwise I wouldn't have continued with the trip. But we took the bus to New York, I remember, and the bus to Buffalo, and then the train to New York. And I was fortunate enough to get a goal against New York on the Sunday night. And then we traveled to Chicago, and I was lucky enough to get another goal. So I got 2 goals in 3 games, and I guess that the unfortunate thing is that I'd already signed the contract. But,
Speaking of which, when you sign a contract like that, when you first come up, is it for a game? Is it for the season? Is it, it certainly couldn't have been long term.
Well, I was negotiating it. At that time, you weren't allowed to have a lawyer or your father into the meeting. So there's Imlach, who has all the experience in his military and his Quebec Aces in Toronto, and then there's Selby. So I went in to negotiate, and the only thing I had is I had said that I might go to Michigan Tech, but obviously at the time I wanted to play for Toronto. So we came up with a contract. I think it was for $8,500 the first year, $9,000 the second, and they threw in $5,000. And I think I got a $500 for for signing a C form. So I was rolling in dough.
Did you get a Leaf jacket?
I didn't. No.
See, Gordie Howe got a Red Wing jacket. If you'd held out, you might have got a coat.
I might have.
Britt, tell us a little bit about this team. It's a team that has won 3 Stanley Cups earlier in the 60s. It stumbles a little bit in the mid area, and Punch is beginning to fine-tune it a little bit, but the core is still there.
Core still, they had, well, you look at the centermen. They had Keon and Pulford, and up and coming they had Stemkowski. But, you know, the heart of their team is you get the Bauer, and they got down the middle, as they said, Pulford and Keon. And then on the defense, they had Horton and Stanley. And at the time, they had, I think Bobby Bond was injured, and they had Hillman playing with Pronovo. and on the power play they had Douglas. So those defensemen could really read the plays well, and they reacted, and they moved the puck, I would say, much like the Detroit, modern-day Detroit team, where they're just getting the puck. They were getting the puck and they were getting out very quickly. They didn't dither around with the puck.
Yes. Now, you know, one of the things I remember hearing Bob Plager talk about Doug Harvey, who, of course, was one of the greats, and his line was to the young upcoming Plager, under no circumstances, after I've passed you the puck, are you to pass it back to me. Get it up to one of those other idiots to let them screw it up other than us. But that was a simple, very simple way of telling a youngster, let's not play on our end of the rink, let's get it ahead.
That's right, and with Harvey, he just, in the expansion year, first year, Bowman brought him up for one game against Phil. I was playing for Philadelphia, and he brought him up for one game, and the 7th game in the finals, and all he did was give that little short pass out to the forwards, and it destroyed us, and they beat us in the 7th game. So I remember Doug Harvey.
And a lot of other people do when he was in his glory years in Montreal. So we're looking forward to this because it's January the 15th, 1966. The Boston Bruins have come calling to tangle with the Maple Leafs. We're all set for Molson's Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV.
For the face-off at center to start the first period, and it's Pitt Martin, number 7, at center ice for the Boston Bruins. Ron Stewart on the right wing, and number 22, Bob Dillabaugh on the left. Fulford, Shack, and Kelly for the Maple Leafs. Langlois on the defense for Boston, along with Green. Knocked down at the Leaf defense. Stewart carries over the line, takes his shot wide. It came out in front of the net. Fulford shot it over to Kelly. Kelly knocked it out, cleared back by Martin, and Stanley has it. Alan Stanley up at center, shoots into the Boston zone, and stopped there by Langlois, number 4. Behind the Boston goal for Langlois. Starts out with a pass to Green. Shot down the ice. Dillabaugh races after it. Horton there first to Eddie Shack. Shack holding it against the boards, then had it knocked loose. Tried to get a hold of it. Martin shot it near Bauer. Stanley hit the side of the net. Carrying it to Kelly. Tried to get it out. Kept in by Boston. A pass for Stewart over to Dillabaugh. Shot it behind the goal. It's right out in front, and the shot was wide. Ron Stewart tries to center it. Came in front. Stanley shot it back. Martin clears it for Shack. To Fulford. Back for Shack. Ahead to Fulford. Over the line, and Langlois shoots it out. Ron Stewart coming back. Over the line, took his shot, and that is wide. Stewart the rebound in the corner. Shot it to the far side. Eddie Shack. Stopped by Dillabaugh. Comes back to Langlois. Shot, and that is wide. Kelly. Long pass for Fulford, intercepted by Langlois. He cleared it to an open wing. There was nobody there. Tim Horton. Up to Fulford. Ahead to Armstrong. Too well covered by Prentice. Martin was offside at the blue line with Armstrong inside. Keon Armstrong and Mahavlich for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Murray Oliver, Eddie Westfall, and Dean Prentice, number 17 on the left wing. Hellman and Kronovo on the defense for the Leafs. And it's Murat, along with Wojtowicz. Bernie Parent in goal. Johnny Bauer at the other end. On the face-off, it goes back to Murat. He shot it right to Hellman. Hellman takes a long drive. That's wide. Parent steering it to the corner. Shot behind the net into the corner on this side. Wojtowicz trying to get it out. Mahavlich had him partially stopped. Wojtowicz tries it again to Prentice. Off the boards, and there's Mahavlich over to get it. Armstrong lets it go. Cleared in. Bauer stopping it. Marcel Kronovo back for it. Ahead for Armstrong, and he couldn't reach it. Wojtowicz of the Bruins shoots it right back in the Leaf zone. Marcel Pronovo for Mahavlich to Keon, and it goes over Marcel Pronovo's stick. Marcel Pronovo trying his luck now, coming out, a pass for Keon, and he couldn't get it. And Mahavlich races in after it. Puck is cleared back into the link zone, and Larry Hillman races after it with Prentice after him. Ends up with Bauer knocking it nearly in front of his own net on a rebound off the board. Marcel Pronovo, quick pass to Keon, one man back, over the line. Keon going right around Wojtowicz, and it's knocked out to center ice. Stanley to Armstrong. Armstrong to Mahavlich for Keon. Keon and Wojtowicz, with Keon being knocked down. Played over to Prentice. Tapped by Armstrong for Keon. Right in front, and Mahavlich failed to knock it in. The net play is called, and a penalty will be handed out to Boston.
Boston penalty to number 18, Westfall. 2 minutes for hooking. The time, 3:35.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right of Bernie Parent. The Maple Leafs with a man advantage. 6 men to 5. Boyer, Ellis, Selby, Douglas, and Hillman. Stewart and Dillabo to kill off the penalty. And from the face-off, a shot by Boyer was just wide on the backhand. Hillman cleared into the corner. Leo Boyman behind the net. He backhands it, but not out. Douglas let a shot go. Boyer deflecting it off to the side. Stewart clears it, but not out. Hillman let one go, and that's wide. Douglas moves up. He took his shot. It's knocked back to him. Another shot, and that's wide. Ellis from the right side, getting set. There's his drive, and Parent stopped it. Boyman covered by Selby. They drag it along the boards. Ellis gets it out, but it was too late. They'd held it long enough for a face-off. All set for the face-off in the Boston zone to the left. The Leafs with a man advantage, 6 men to 5. Boyer, Selby, and Ellis. Back to Hillman, over to Douglas. He's closing in, there's the shot, goal!
Scored by number 19, Douglas. Assist, number 16, Hillman, and number 8, Ellis. The time, 4:17.
The puck is cleared from the faceoff into the Leaf zone, and Tim Horton has it. A pass to Wally Boyer. Going down with Ellis on his right. Takes the pass over the line. There's the shot, and that's wide. Stanley moves up with a shot. Boyer tried to deflect it, and Boyman clears it all the way up to Busick. Busick, Williams, and McKenzie. Shot over the line. Ellis goes to the board, holds it there, and there's no further play. Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone. Williams at center, McKenzie on the right side, and Busick on the left. Jack, Colford, Kelly, Martin, Stanley. Boyman and Green for the Bruins. Tim Horton being watched. Lays it up for Shack, too far. Boyman knocked it in, it's offside. And he's going down all the way down the ice because he deliberately put the puck into the Leaf zone. Face off in the Boston zone to the left. Williams, McKenzie, and Busick. Fulford, Kelly, and Shack. Right back to Shack. He missed it and it went down the ice. Bauer way out of the net. Got it off the boards for Kelly. Tried to tip it ahead to Fulford. Williams shooting it right back in again. Busick left it for McKenzie. Here it's back to Boyven. Boyven gets his shot, and that hit a leg and goes to the corner. Stanley ahead to Fulford. Pass for Kelly. It's offside. Martin now on the forward line for the Boston Bruins. Gary Dornhofer, number 27, on the right wing. And number 26, Don Ory, is playing on the left side. Kelly to Fulford. Stop. Stanley ahead to Kelly. Kelly up at center. Fulford trying to catch up with him over the line. Kelly tried to go around Wojtowicz. Kelly gets it away from him and picks it up, gets right in front of the net. Oh, he shot it past the open corner. Boston in their own zone with Ory getting it back to Wojtowicz. Bob Wojtowicz to Moran, who cleared it right out over the blue line. To Eddie Shack. He shoots it off the boards. Dornhofer to Marat. Ahead to Martin. Martin coming down the ice. Over the blue line with Ory, who was behind him. Martin after it. Tim Horton. For Shack, broken up by Don Ory, who shot it in front of the man, and Stanley picks it off. And he shoots it down the ice. Icing. What do you think of that? On the face-off, it goes back to Marcel Pronovo to Larry Hillman. Gets it ahead to Armstrong to Keon. Keon is over the line. There goes the shot right through his legs and out the other side. Shot down the ice into the lead zone and going back for it. Marcel Pronovo was hit hard. Mahavlich tipping it off the boards to center. Keon steals it and lost it in a second try. Dean Prentice gets out long enough to recover, passing it over on the left wing, knocked back at center. Keon to Armstrong. Havlich is loose on the right wing, takes a pass over the line back for Keon, and it's picked off by the Bruins. Marat, a pass over to Martin. Over the blue line, he's checked by Keon. Eddie Westfall, number 18, then flips it over the line. Martin takes a shot. Bauer stopped it. Larry Hillman takes the hold and shoots it down the right side to Armstrong. Cleared into the lead zone with a late whistle. Hillman bringing it out to Keon. He's checked by Langlois. Langlois handled it right to Marcel Pronovo. It's over the line and been brought up by Westfall. A long pass for Prentice. He was checked and Armstrong has it. He passed it right on to Green's stick. Ted Green then shoots it in the lead zone. Larry Hillman. Straight up the ice. Pass for Keon, and Keon was checked by Murray Oliver. Gives it to Prentice. Over the line, Prentice going in. He shoots, and Bauer makes the save. All set for the face-off. Westfall shooting the puck into the corner in the lead zone. Ellis shot it out. Selby races after him. He's got it loose. He's in the clear. Right in on goal. He shoots it. Goal!
Toronto goal scored by number 11, Selby. Assist number 8, Ellis. The time, 8:36.
On the face-off, Stanley over to Horton. Horton coming up the center, takes a long shot. Barrett made the save. Boyer went after the rebound. Ellis stepped into Langlois. Ellis back for Horton. Horton had it knocked off the stick, recovered, shot it back in again. Williams covered by Ellis. Ellis hooked it loose. Still has it. Boyer tries to help him out, and Busick is there. To Williams. Back to Green. Green comes up the ice along the center. Ran into Horton. Ellis then tried to feed Boyer, and it's cleared by McKenzie to Busick. Over to Williams. Williams took his shot, and Bauer got his leg in the way of that shot. Now then Horton feeds it up to Selby, and Boyer didn't see the pass coming. And Stanley breaks it out, and lost it to Williams. Williams is checked by Stanley, and Horton covers up. Horton is turned around. Wally Boyer coming to center. Pass for Kelly. Green covers him. Kelly goes to the boards. Behind the net, trying to center it. Still covered. McKenzie finally rides him out of the play, and Green comes down the ice for Boston. Shooting it into the lead zone, and Shack ran into Green. Stanley for Shack. Failed to get out. Langlois, here are the Bruins, 4 of them. A shot. Bauer stopped that, and Stanley knocked it out to the wing. Kenzie, a shot, hit Stanley. To Kelly. Off the boards for Poupert. Poupert over the line, took his shot, that's wide. And he shot after it. Green covers him. Bumped together. Sticks one a little high. Here's to Kelly. There's a backhand. He's got it again. Coming from the side. Took his shot. Morant stopped it. Poupert missed the rebound. Kelly's got it again. To Poupert, right in front of the net. And it's played out. Shack and Green were bumping one another. A pass to Hillman. Up for Poupert. Broken up by Stewart. Ron Stewart. A pass stopped by Kelly, and Marcel Pronovo makes sure of it. Marcel Pronovo now over the line. With Kelly, it hit a skate, point of which feeds Stewart. Over to Martin. Got it across the goal mouth, but there was nobody there. Poupert to Kelly. Back to Poupert. Took his shot. Hit the goal post. As it changed direction. Parent didn't even see it. Hillman to Marcel Pronovo. Up to Kelly. Over for Shack. Over the line. Check on the rock. Down the ice comes Dillabo. Over the blue line. Stopped by Marcel Pronovo. Ron Stewart keeps it in to Dillabo. Too far. Marcel Pronovo in the corner. He's covered by Martin. They hold it there, and there's no further play.
Well, you talked about Kent Douglas. He scores the opening goal. It's his 3rd of the year. And then somebody named Britt Selby has pounded in his 9th of the season thus far in January. And the Leafs have a 2-0 lead here midway through the first period. Young Bernie Perron is playing goal for the Boston Bruins. And you had plenty of experience playing against him as a junior.
We played against Bernie the previous year, and they had beat us out in, I think, 6 games. And they had been favored to win. I think they won the Memorial Cup that year. But when he came into the NHL, I don't think he had the confidence, and I don't think he had the goalie coaches to help him, because when you watch him play, he's standing back in the net for a lot of the shots. He's playing the angles fairly well, but he's not aggressive, and it's almost like he doesn't have the confidence that he would have in future years.
And of course, Jacques Plante, when they arrive together in Toronto, becomes a mentor of his, and almost Perron becomes a clone, because the styles were absolutely identical.
Well, Jacques Plante analyzed the game as if he was sitting up into the stands when he was playing, I guess, and he knew every player's moves, and he knew what behavior on the ice he was going to exhibit to counter the move, and I think he he transferred that information to Bernie.
Now, Britt, you played with Bernie Parent in Philadelphia briefly, and an interesting character with some eccentricities, I guess.
He did have some eccentricities. He liked clothing, and I remember one time we were living together, and he bought a pair of crocodile shoes, which were quite expensive at the time. And he liked them so much, he bought six pair of them, all different colors. So you can imagine his wardrobe area.
And did he wear them out with the different suits that all matched, I'm
right.
sure.
Yes.
Well,
we thought we were really something.
I bet. Well, and I think clothes hounds you must have been too. Did you ever get to borrow those shoes?
No, I don't think I was into the alligators, I think.
Oh, well, of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
At any rate, the Leafs have taken a 2-0 lead here midway through the first period. Let's go back to the gondola.
Murray Oliver, Prentice, and Eddie Westfall for the Boston Bruins. Martin fails to get out. Armstrong then ahead to Keon. Over the blue line to center. Takes a long shot. Grant stopped it. Marat covered. Mahavlich went behind the net. Here's Keon fanning at his shot. Getting right in front. He shoots. And he shot wide. Keon covered by Marat along the board. Wojtowicz covered by Armstrong right in front. And he shot it over top of the net. Mahavlich tries to get it loose. Kicked out to Keon, and a play is called for a face-off in the Boston zone to the right. Face-off in the Boston zone to the right. Oliver, Westfall, Boylan, Prentice, and Green. Keon, Armstrong, Mahavlich, Stanley, and Horton. Shot down the ice by Boston. It'll hit a Leaf player. It'll not be called for icing. Horton in his own zone. Stopped by Prentice. Prentice trying to center it. Shot it across the goal mouth, and Keon has it. Keon coming out with Armstrong. Took the pass over the line. There's his shot. Brent stopped that. Goes loose. Keon back to Horton. Horton shot it behind the net. Armstrong trapped it. Trying to center it. Green kicked at it. Keon off the boards to Prentice. And Prentice comes back with a pass to Oliver. Over the blue line. Back to Prentice. Horton knocked it to the board. Prentice covered. Puck is taken by Keon. To Stanley. A long shot into the Boston zone. Boylan will touch it. That's icing. Why? All set to go. Johnny Busick at center ice now with McKenzie on one wing and Williams on the other. And juggling their centers around. Puck is against the boards. Hillman gives it to Marcel Pronovo. Shot it, but not out. Green let a shot go. Here's Kesky. He hit the side of the net. Sanded it right in front. And Marcel Pronovo clears it to the wing, but not out. Knocked back into the corner. Selby trying to bring it out, does to clear it to center. Then Selby intercepted a pass, goes after it. Boylan gets there first. Boyer tried to handle it, but he couldn't. McKenzie a pass to Busick. Ellis and Busick cover each other. Larry Hillman shoots it around on the board. McKenzie knocked it for Williams. Comes back to Green. Green tried to get around Boyer. It's right in front. There's a shot by McKenzie. He shot it 5 feet wide. Ellis can't get out. Hillman feeds Selby. Selby ran into McKenzie, and McKenzie went down. Then Boyer steals the puck. Shot it right across the goal mouth. Clearing pass for Williams. Gets around Marcel Pronovo. Closing in. There's the shot, and Powers stopped that. Ahead to Boyer. Boyer with Shack over the line. They're closing in. Shack shoots, and he shot it high. Boyer covering it along the boards. Shack tries to help him out. And into Marat. They held it for a face-off. All set to go, back to Shack. Eddie Shack getting in front, he was checked. Gets it back again. Covered by Martin. Stanley to Pulford. Not Pulford at center. Shot it off the boards, and Stewart is there. Tipped by Martin back into the lead zone, and Bauer gives it to Horton. Ahead for Kelly, went out over the blue line. Stanley has it handed to him, comes up to center, takes a shot. Grant made the save. Stanley tried to center it. Pulford cleared it back down the ice. Cleared it down the ice. Now they'll face off. At center. On the face-off, it goes back to Dillabo to Bob Wojtowicz over to Marat. Here's Marat. Gets it ahead to Martin. Shot it into the lead zone, and Eddie Shack goes back for it. Shack is checked. Dillabo trying to center it. Horton shoots it down the ice. Over the red line, and there's going to be a noise here when he touches it. On the face-off, Bob Pulford lost the face-off. There's a shot by Martin right on. Bauer covered the shortstop. On the face-off, Horton gets away from his check, then a long pass for Pulford. He couldn't stop that one, and it goes down the ice. Nice. Set to go again. It goes to Bauer, to Stanley. He hits Stewart with it. Martin over the line again. Kelly trying to get it out. Goes to Tim Horton. To Pulford. Up to Kelly. Kelly gets away from a check. Over the line. Pulford closing in. Tried to pass it in front, and Marat just got a piece of it. Eddie Shack and Marat bump together. Back up the ice for Dillabo. Over the blue line. Back for Stewart. And Kelly has a break with Shack. Over the line for Shack. Closing in from the right side. Shoots! And Perrette made the save as Stanley was cruising in. Puck goes loose. Came out in front, and Bob Wojtowicz goes down the ice for Boston. A long shot, and Bauer got his skating away that drive. Pulford to Shack, ahead to Hillman. Hillman with Mahavlich, who took the pass over the line. Passed it back, and there was nobody there. Oliver tried to get away and couldn't. Tries it again, it's deflected into the leaf zone. Bauer shot it for Mahavlich. He's checked. Prentice tries to center, and here's a chance for Green. A shot, and that's just off the target. Armstrong coming back. Hello, Catalan hockey fans in the United States. Bill Hill here at Maple Leaf Gardens. A shot by Hillman is way down the doorstep. And still loose. Mahavlich trying to center for the Leafs. It's against the boards. The Bruins trying to hold it there. And they finally do for a face-off. And with 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in the first period, the score, Toronto Maple Leafs 2, the Boston Bruins nothing. Douglas from Hillman and Ellis at 4:17, his third of the year with Westfall in the penalty box. And then a breakaway for Britt Selby from Ellis at 8:36, his ninth. Montreal leads Chicago 2-1 in the first period at Montreal. Keon Armstrong and Mahavlich, Tommy Williams, number 11, Johnny Busick on the left wing, and McKenzie. Marcel Kronovo's shot was stopped by Perrin and knocked into the corner. Behind the net for Ted Green. As you go in this first period, down the ice for McKenzie over the line. Takes his shot. Bauer stops it. The puck goes loose to Marcel Kronovo coming out. Keon getting up with him behind. A long pass for Armstrong. Failed to click. Mahavlich is dumped by Busick. Langlois covered by Armstrong, who shot it back into the Boston zone. And there's 31 seconds remaining in this first period as Ellis comes out with Boyer. It's cleared ahead to McKenzie. A long shot. Bauer stops it. Stanley gets the rebound. He shoots it, but not out. Williams keeping it in for the Bruins. Cleared it right to Ellis. And Ellis starts out for the Leafs, only to lose it off his stick. Then Ellis gets it again ahead to Mahavlich. He shot it into the Boston zone. 4 seconds remaining. Langlois cleared it along the boards to Busick. Ellis trying to get a hold of it. Busick had control as the end of the first period.
2-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Britt Selby has one of the goals. And we talked about Britt wearing sweater number 8 when he first came up to play in his first NHL game. Ward Cornell is standing by, and we've found this little interview gem from Hockey Night in Canada from the previous year with Britt Selby, a nervous interviewee.
Well, that was a beautiful goal, and as a matter of fact, it was really all scripted tonight because our first two guests on tonight's show, Britt Selby and George Armstrong. Fellas, I'm glad you just solved that problem right off the bat. Britt, that's your first goal. Did you score any last year when you were first out?
I got two, one against New York and one against Chicago.
Now, have you been finding it tough this year, although you're not really a sophomore, in a way you are?
I find that, you know, it's a lot different than junior. It's faster. You got to get rid of that puck quick, and maybe I've been a bit over-anxious. But the New York players aren't helping too much.
And tell me, have you found that your confidence is harder to get your confidence?
I think so. That's one of the hardest things to get. You try hard, but without the confidence, I don't think you do too much.
You seem to have it tonight a bit. Do you feel differently tonight than you have all season?
Well, yes, because up until last week, sixth game, I could have been sent to the minors, and now I'm just trying as hard, but I can't be sent to the minors because they have to wait me out.
So you just feel a little bit more relaxed?
A little more confident.
George, what do veterans in the club try to do to help rookies?
Well, not very much, Ward. As far as playing hockey is concerned, Brett is as good a skater and as good a hockey player as anybody else, or he wouldn't be here. I think the most important thing is that the thing that I do, now that I'm playing with Brett, and even before I was playing with Brett, I made a point of trying to make him feel at home and trying to make him feel at ease, talking about the way that we play if we're on the line together, talking about asking him for suggestions as well, because although he just came from junior, he still knows a lot about hockey, a lot of things that perhaps I don't know, and hoping that he can come up with some suggestions for us, trying to make him feel at home that way.
Well, now, what kind of suggestions have sort of happened so far in your life? Can you think of any examples?
Well, not a great deal, I don't suppose, of yet. Talking is perhaps the most important thing. We might come up with same things which we've known, which we know we should do, and we've known this for years and years, but somehow we forget about them. And sometimes when we get talking together, somebody will bring up a point, and we say, no, there's something that we're not doing. And Britt has been very, since we've been playing together, I think he listens more than he talks, maybe because he's a rookie, but he's come up with a couple of things, and it certainly helps us.
Britt, are you interested at all in the other players? Or did you ask the veterans how certain players react? I think they call it, like, to talk about keep a book on a player.
I think the main thing is just watching when Frank Mahavlich or Larry Jeffrey, the two veteran enough wingers like Kelly. I watch them, what they do in the corner, and how they get it out of our end. I've been having trouble getting it out of our end, and I'm just watching them, especially Kelly, the way he manipulates on his feet.
Now, is there any one defenseman that you've played against so far that causes you more trouble than anybody else?
Tonight, I'd say Harry Howell gives me the most trouble.
So now, is this the kind of thing you might sort of chat over, and how do you beat Howell, or?
I haven't talked it over too much. I've just been watching him out there and seeing how he plays other players.
George, I'm going to change the subject here just a bit, because you always have the most interesting and exciting summers, I think, of any hockey player, and this summer was no exception. Now, where all were you?
Well, I was fortunate enough to go with the United Nations Armed Service Entertainment Group here from Canada to the Gaza Strip in Egypt, and I was there. I was gone for 3 weeks all told, and there were a lot of Canadian soldiers and UN soldiers, all kinds of soldiers from around the world. And the Canadian Entertainment Group was a very, very fine group, the best Canadian talent that we have here in Canada, I guess, and they made me feel very at home, and I really enjoyed that. Besides that, I was up for a week up to Fort Severn up in Hudson Bay with the Department of Lands and Forests, visiting some Indian people up there as well. It was a very, very interesting summer.
This is the second summer you've done that, isn't it?
Yes, Ward, this is the second summer, and it gets more interesting each year.
And Britt, just before we move on to our next guest, have you had a big thrill yet?
I think just being in the NHL is the base for all that.
I bet that goal felt pretty good tonight.
Yeah, it felt good right off the bat.
Well, fellows, thank you very much for being with us, and continued good luck to each of you, especially on your lines together.
Britt, had to be a real exciting time to play in the National Hockey League. That probably was fairly easy as far as the nerves go. Now all of a sudden, Ward Cornell sticking a mic in your face. What was that like?
Well, unlike players today, most junior players, I mean, we didn't have really that much exposure to the media, so it was a real experience. And I was just terrified about what type of questions he was going to ask. And but I think I got through it, but I'd like to see how I look.
You know, when you do things like that, and it's funny because television has changed so much, and the media has changed so much. It really was an extension of the team maybe, but it was always really trying to find out a little bit about your background and school and things of this nature, and it has changed a great deal.
Well, nowadays the agents prepare the modern player. I think they probably go through make-believe interviews, and they are prepared to answer certain questions in a particular way. I think we were honest, but I don't think we were possibly as lucid. Possibly we didn't have the imagination as the modern-day player.
So the Maple Leafs lead it by a score of 2-0 at the end of the first period on January 15th, 1966. This is Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. 2-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Britt Selby has his 9th goal of the year, January the 15th. You go on to win the Calder Trophy this year, Britt, and obviously breaking into the Leaf lineup. Were you welcomed with open arms in Peterborough at training camp, and just told to go out there and have fun, youngster? I'm sure it'll all work out.
Well, you went through certain rituals, but they were all positive rituals. And looking back, the old pros who had been a body of players on three Stanley Cups, they really welcomed me with open arms. And even Shaq, who was playing in the American League, didn't act in a negative fashion towards me, because I was really taking his place at the beginning of the year. So to be honest with you, I really felt at home. And in those days, you knew that you were with the Toronto Maple Leafs when you entered the Peterborough Arena, because you were there, you had all the new equipment. If you were with Rochester or Tulsa, you were down the hall, you didn't have the best equipment, and you probably didn't have the best schedule for your practices. So I don't think I took it for granted, but looking back, I could say that the players went out of their way to make me feel good.
Now, Britt, who was the competition in the league that year as far as winning the Calder?
I would think it would have to be Kenny Hodge, but he didn't have a good year with Chicago, and he would be traded the year after to Boston. And the other fellow would be Bernie Pront, who was a goalie, and there again he was on a last place team, I think. And the player that really pushed me was Bert Marshall, who was brought up from Detroit. But I think I had an edge in the first part of the schedule, and he won in the second part, but I won overall.
So it was obviously a memorable time and an exciting time, and something that, you know, when you think the Leafs have not had a Calder Trophy winner since. Wendell Clark was runner-up to Gary Suter later on, but you're a piece of Maple Leaf lore, if not an answer to a great trivia question.
Well, they don't know that, but I put a hex on them.
Oh, you did?
You see, I did, because
Oh,
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
part of
aware
the
of that.
'67 Stanley Cup team, you see. So I put the hex on. They won't win until...
Well, now we know it, and we've got the exclusive...
financially.
That's right, we've got the exclusive right here on Leafs TV. Well, Britt Selby has a goal, and it's 2-0 Toronto. This is Molson Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV.
Wyatt and Hodge, the goal scorers in the first period. On the face-off to Eddie Shack, who tried to feed Pulford. It goes all the way to Parent, staring at the Ted Green, number 6, and Green starts out. Over his own blue line to center. Takes a long shot into the corner. It goes behind Bauer. He stopped it. Kelly cleared it for Shack. Eddie Shack goes behind the Leaf goal. Starting out over to the left side. Passed it out to center when the Bruin players were waiting for him and lining him up. Here's a backhand right in front, and Bauer had to make a great save on that. Kelly goes back for the Leafs to center. Over the line, tried to feed Pulford. Kelly went down after being hit by Green. Stanley brings in offside.
Let's look at Red Kelly, number 4 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He played a strong game in that first period. Red, as everybody must know, is having his problems finding the net this year. But that's a pretty good line they have out there now, Pulford, Kelly, and Shack.
As a matter of fact, Brian, he had the best chance in that first period without scoring when he went right in alone, and he missed the net completely.
Back up for the Bruins. A long shot. Bauer stopping it off the side, and it's cleared by Stanley around. Wojtowicz had it taken away from him by Kelly. Gets it ahead for Pulford. He didn't see it, but it was offside anyway. The face-off will be at center ice on the far wing, halfway between the Leaf and the Boston players' benches. And it goes back to Stanley. Alan Stanley shot it right onto the stick of Marat. He gets it ahead to Westfall. He takes a long shot wide of Bauer. He nearly knocked it in his own net, but he holds onto it for a face-off. And Brian, we've seen this happen on occasions this year.
Well, yes, more than one occasion, but the way John was playing in that first period, you wouldn't expect it to happen of him, and maybe just a little showmanship going on there, who knows.
Out-of-town score, that's the final. Final score was New York 4, Detroit 4. Played this afternoon. False start for a face-off in the Leaf zone with Boston playing every man up. There's a shot wide of Bauer. Mike Mahavlich to Keon. He let it go to Armstrong. Armstrong to Keon over the Boston line. Had it on the blue line. Locked it in for Armstrong. Armstrong shot it around on the boards to Marcel Pronovo. He's getting set. Took his shot. Armstrong failed to deflect it. Keon back for Mahavlich behind the goal. Centered it. It hit Armstrong's skate. Hillman a backhand right to Keon, and his shot hit a leg. Oliver shooting it out to center. Marcel Pronovo shoots it back again. Ends up behind the net. Marat passed it right out in front. Armstrong getting set, took his shot. Mahavlich centered it, and Keon just missed it. Shot out and down the ice. Westfall gets a hold of it over the blue line for Boston. Stops, waiting for somebody to catch up to Wojtowicz. Wojtowicz took his shot and handed it to Keon. To Mahavlich, one man back. Mahavlich over the line, shoots, and back up into the Moon Blues.
Well, Big M was underway, and Jules Marat, number 10, was the only Boston defender. And I believe he must have been just a little bit worried because the Big M was in full stride there, and Marat really had to hustle over and make him hurry the shot and get it deflected up over the glass.
The Maple Leafs have sent out Wally Boyer now to center with Ellis and Selby on the wings. Boston have Williams at center, Busick on the left wing, and McKenzie on the right side. Comes back to Horton. Horton's backhand ends up in the corner.
Leo Boyven cleared it, but not out. Wally Boyer is checked. Tommy Williams with Busick and McKenzie over to McKenzie on the right side, but he's stopped by Selby. Selby shoots it right back into the Boston zone. Boyven falls on top of the puck, and there's no further play.
Well, it's interesting to see number 15 there, Wally Boyer, and harking back to Ward's comments that he likes him for Rookie of the Year honors. He didn't play that much in the first half, but Ward maybe proved right in the final analysis. He's certainly a professional in every sense of the word, and he could have a great second half and steal the honors.
Yes, he's been coming on very strongly, Brian. And I think you can point out at the end of this next play that Johnny McKenzie is up from the Rangers. A pass to the blue line, goes out over the line. Boyer trying to cover up at the line. Now he starts back for Ellis. Took a long shot wide. And McKenzie picks it up, number 19. He's covered. He and Selby were roughing one another. A shot down the ice. It hit the linesman. It's touched by Busick, and it's offside from inside the blue line over the checkered line.
There's Johnny Busick, the spark plug of this Boston team for so many years. Right behind him, Tommy Williams. We'll be hearing from him later. And as you said, Bill, Johnny McKenzie's out there in right wing on that line.
It goes back to Selby, a long shot by Horton. Perrant caught it and gave it to Green. Green behind the goal. Pass over to Boyven. Boyven shot it to Williams, and Williams goes to center. Over the line. Goes to the far side. Shot it across the goal mouth. Ends up on Boyven's stick, a shot, and that's deflected by Stanley wide. Picked off by the Bruins. Busick passed to the back to Boyven. There's his shot. Right on. Somehow got a skate on that shot that was deflected.
Pretty fast reflexes by the old man, Johnny Bauer. Teams making changes now. We mentioned Johnny McKenzie a moment ago. Of course, he was involved in that trade. There he is. He's wearing Reg Fleming's old number 19 for Boston. He was traded for Fleming earlier this week. Fleming got a goal this afternoon for the New York Rangers.
We're all set to go now and fund the faceoff. It goes behind the Leaf goal. Hillman, a pass ahead to Kelly, up for Pulford, over the line, and Pulford tried to go by Murat, but Murat was there to cover up. Kelly moved in. Bruins break it up. Ron Stewart at center. Over the Leaf line, closing in with a shot. Bauer caught it. Threw it to Marcel Kronovo, ahead to Kelly. Up to Pulford. Took a long shot that was knocked down by Wojtowicz. Cleared off the boards by Stewart, out. Gets away from Pulford. Stewart still with it. To Dillabo over the line. Dillabo closing in. Tried to center it. He's covered. Hillman goes to the boards. And play is called. And we played 4 minutes and 31 seconds of the second period. The Leafs are leading 2-0. And the shots on goal in the first period by Toronto, 14, by the Bruins, 11. The referee is John Ashley, number 3, and the linesmen are Brian Sopp, number 6, and Brent Castleman, number 20. Face-off in the Leafs zone to the left. Stewart passed it back to Murat. He took his shot. Bauer just got a stick on it. Stewart trying to center it again. Still has it. Coming from the side, a backhand. Bauer got his toe in the way of that one. Pulford comes right down the ice with Shack and Kelly. Pulford back to Kelly. He shoots, and he shot it off the leg. Shack trying to pass it to Kelly, and the Bruins work back. Dillabo just failed to get loose. To Bob Wojtowicz over here to Gilles Murat. Shot into the lead zone, and Kelly covered by Martin. Shoved him off to the boards. Goes behind the net. Hillman clearing it for Shack. He pays it out to Pulford. One man back, going in with Kelly. Kelly going right in. He shoots. Just missed the rebound. Trying to center it. Ends up behind the net. Kelly shut Murat, knocked him down. Boston come back. Over the line for Martin to Dillabo. Took his shot. Bauer stopped that, and Kelly gets the rebound. Bauer was knocked over. A pass to Hillman. Over the line. Passed it through for Pulford. Pulford missed it. Bruins bring it back. Clearing it out. Stanley. A flip pass for Mahavlich. He's checked. And Wojtowicz kicks it ahead to Oliver. Trying to center it. Bauer comes out. Cleared it to the blue line. Shack right into Stanley. Prentice shot it into the corner. Stewart is knocked down. Prentice covered, and there's no further play. Lead zone to the right. Toronto Maple Leafs 2, the Boston Bruins nothing. Now Langlois shot it wide. Oliver tried to center it. Horton gets a hold of it, number 7, ahead to Mahavlich. It hit a skate. Here's Westfall, right on the Stanley stick. He just fed it right back to Green. Green to Oliver. They're closing in. Back to Green. The shot. Bauer stopped that. Keon had it knocked off his stick. Pass back to Westfall. He's hit Bauer. Stick. Prentice trying it again to Westfall. Back to Langlois. Back to Westfall. To Prentice. Prentice trying to center it. Passed it right in front. Westfall couldn't get his drive. Langlois lets it go, and Armstrong knocked it down. And he shoots it down the ice. And Brian, the Maple Leafs just couldn't get that puck out of their own zone.
Well, the crowd may not like that, Bill, the fact the Leafs threw it down the ice, but there was a lot of pressure on them, and they were in trouble. So Army, the team captain, elected to relieve some of the pressure by shooting at the length of the rink.
Well, there you see the score. Toronto 2, Boston nothing. And we played exactly 7 minutes and 1 second of the second period. There's the shot. Bauer didn't even see it. And it just happened to miss the corner. Went back to Langlois. Now Langlois' pass ends up on Murray Oliver's stick. Then Mahavlich teched him, and Keon gets a break. Keon let his shot go, and that's deflected by Green up into the crowd. A grandstand catch by one of the customers at the south end.
Spring training came a little early for him this year. Speaking of Keon, he's nursing that sore shoulder, of course, and he took a terrific body check in the first period. I think it was Green or Marat, one of them hit him, but he's played right along, but he does seem to be having a little difficulty with his shooting.
Keon now facing off against Tommy Williams, and from the faceoff, Mahavlich gets a hold of it. He was getting set, then lost it. Gets it again, shot it behind the net. Green picks it off, shot it around to Ori, who gets it to Green again, over to Dornhofer is out there now. Dornhofer, Williams, and Ori. This line has been used very sparingly. This is their second time out tonight. Williams getting double duty. Armstrong to Mahavlich. And Keon back to Stanley. Shot it for Keon. Keon failed to get a hold of it. Ted Green shooting it down the ice. Armstrong is dumped. A pass for Keon failed to click. Then Mahavlich stole the puck. Trying to get in on goal. Too well covered by Green, who knocked him into the boards. Here's Armstrong picking it up, centering it. Mahavlich couldn't get it. Fade back at center. Horton to Mahavlich. Green stopped him again. Dornhofer lost it, then shot to Williams. Williams goes over the line for Boston, getting in front of the defense. Let his shot go, and Bauer stopped that. Horton up to Keon with Selby. Selby took the pass, goes after it. Langlois knocked him into the boards. Keon gets it loose. Selby centered it right in front. It goes back to Marcel Pronovo. Then to Selby. Right in front. And it hit a skate and just failed to go in the corner. Here's right in front again. Scores! Selby! Knocked it in the net.
Well, let's watch it on the instant playback. That's Keon in the corner with Selby. Back to the blue line now. Selby's going to take up a position just to the right of Bernie Parent, and he'll get the rebound. There it is. He pokes it home, his second goal. And all the more reason why they may be touting him for Rookie of the Year honors.
That's number 10, Brian.
Toronto goal scored by number 11, Selby. Assist, number 14, Keon, and number 3, Pronovo. The time, 9:01.
Larry Hillman. A pass for Ellis. Ellis is checked, and Larry Hillman takes a shot, another shot. Knocked down by the Boston defense, cleared out to center. Wally Boyer turning. Pass for Selby was hit by Stewart. And Selby ran into his check. Boyer over the line. He's hit. Races after it. Still has it. Tried to center it. Selby from behind the net for Ellis. Hillman tipped it over to Marcel Pronovo. There's his shot. Right in front. He scores! Selby! And that's 3 in a row.
Oh, what an authentic hat trick for young Selby. And a good play here by Hillman getting it over. Now here's the shot, and Selby's right there to poke it home with Perrent sprawling out of position. And Selby's really come through. He's hot as a firecracker at this stage in the game.
I noticed, Brian, that he handed the puck to Bob Haggard after getting that hat trick.
By number 11, Selby. Assist number 3, Pronovo, and number 16, Hillman. The time, 9:48.
9:48 is the time of the goal. That's 3 in a row for Britt Selby. 9, 10, and 11 so far this season. And the score is now 4-0 for the Maple Leafs. Kelly is knocked down. Bruins, a pass ahead for Dean Prentice over the blue line. He stopped. Oliver went after it. His shot gets a hold of it. Head to Popard. Over the line. Popard ran into Marat. Westfall shoots it to Prentice. Off his stick. Martin in front of the defense's shot, and Kelly couldn't get to it as Wojtowicz knocked it to the corner. Now it's Eddie Westfall. For Prentice, stopped by Stanley. Popard had it hop over his stick. Prentice closes in with Oliver. It hit her leg. Martin cleared it to the blue line. Marat kept it in, then Stanley lost it. Here's Prentice right in front of the net. Martin got there in time. Then Stanley to Kelly to Popard for Shack. Over the line, back for Popard. Shack knocked down by Marat. At the blue line. And Marat knocks Shack down again. And there'll be a penalty.
Two goals in the second period, numbers 10 and 11 on the season, and a hat trick for Britt Selby. First ever hat trick in the National Hockey League. I'm sure in your Marlborough days you'd had a few, but this had to be a pretty big moment in a young man's career.
It was a big moment. When I looking at the footage of the game, I see kind of an unemotional guy. It's a little bit different. You don't have the tribal rituals that the players go through today. But the first goal, I think Wally Boyer got the puck off the face-off, and he gave it to Ellis. Ellis was just clearing it, and fortunately for me, Green didn't see me from behind, and I took the puck off him, and he took a swipe at me as I was passing him, and he gave me a big welt in the back of my head, and I went on and went in on Bernie Perrant, and I scored on the short side high. So that was the first goal. The other two goals were in the second period, and I was lucky to get rebounds, and then I had my 3 goals.
And 3 goals, it's a special moment. Do you have the puck?
I don't remember having the puck, but I remember, what I remember is that it probably contributed a great deal for me winning the Calder that year, those 3 goals.
And Ted Green taking a swipe at you. You have a couple of meetings with him during this game as well that probably were etched in your memory almost as much as the 3 goals.
Well, Green was the guy you had to keep your head up for because he thought his stick was an extension of his body. And he reminded me of a guy like Larry Zeidel, who I played with in Philadelphia. They're really tough hockey players, but that particular game, he's playing on the right side, I'm playing on the left side. So he played that type of game where he was in your face. And it was just fortunate I didn't get into a fight with him.
Yeah, well, yes, it is fortunate. I'm not sure for who, but
I have a fairly nice face with not too many scars.
And it's in the right spots, and the nose is still there just as well.
That's right. I happened to play with Teddy there in New England, so I got to know him and his family quite well, and he was Very nice guy.
Quality guy, isn't he?
Quality guy,
Yes.
like most people in hockey are.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on the ice, they bring a different outlook on life.
They certainly do. Well, Britt Selby has scored the hat trick, and the Maple Leafs are on their way here, leading 4-0. Let's go back upstairs.
That means the teams will play 5-a-side. Brian?
So you can notice the stance Shack adopts in the penalty box. The left leg crossed neatly over the right knee.
On the faceoff, Horton, a pass for Stemkowski. He's out for the first time in the game with Curtin back, and Curtin back just missed the pass. Stemkowski went after it. McKenzie's out there with Busick, Boyven, and Green. Busick coming down the ice. Stopped by Stanley. Alan Stanley over to Tim Horton. Up to Stemkowski. For Curtin back over the line. Curtin back trying to control it. Does. Covered by Boyven. Kicks it to Stemkowski. And he just failed to set up Curtin back. Back for McKenzie. Long shot, and Bauer just got his glove on that. A real hard drive by Johnny McKenzie. Horton having difficulty. Busick trying to get his shot. Back for Green, and Curtin back hooked him. There's going to be a penalty there to Curtin back for hooking.
In his first appearance on the ice tonight, Curtin back draws a penalty for upsetting Green.
Well, as you can see there, we have 2 Leaf players in the penalty box and 1 Bruin.
2 minutes for hooking. The time 12:04.
And oddly enough, Brian, this is the first time in the hockey game that the Leafs will be shorthanded.
Well, let's see what Boston can do about it now. They have Williams out there, they're big guns, and Busick, Prentice.
And from the faceoff, it's back to Green. They're playing 5 men to 4. To Johnny McKenzie, number 19. Still has it. Trying to set up Green. Passed it back to him. Back to McKenzie, over to Williams. Williams turns. Here's it to Green. He's getting set. The shot right on. And Bauer got that one right in the toe.
What a remarkable old fella he is, Johnny Bauer. I know we've said it many times in the past, and we'll continue to say it many times in the future. After they shut out Montreal 6-0 the other night, one of the fans in Montreal said, this guy can play till he's 100. There's Jackie Parsons and his father in the crowd. We'll be talking with Jackie between periods. He's visiting us for the first time at Maple Leaf Gardens, and he's totally blind.
From the faceoff, it's back to Green. Green over here to Busick. Busick closing in. Back to Green. Here comes the drive. He's gone! Green, let it go. And pick the short side.
All right, let's watch it as the Bruins finally break the goose egg. From Busick over to Green at the point. Now here's the shot. Let's see, is it deflected? Right by Johnny Bauer. We'll find out in a moment whether it went in all the way or whether it caught a stick en route. Ted Green.
Boston goal scored by number 6, Green. Assist number 9, Busick. And number 11, Williams. The time 12:33.
And of course, Green's telling Johnny Busick just how it happened.
From the faceoff, a long shot by Horton ends up by Brett's net. And Langlois starts out. He's partially checked by Keon. Gets it ahead for Dornhofer, number 27. He stops. Checked. Keon gives it to Mahavlich. Mahavlich down the ice. Over the blue line. But Keon goes around Wojtowicz into the corner. Wojtowicz then gives him a shove. Dornhofer behind the net. Shot it along the boards for Don Orey, number 26. He comes out. Back to Dornhofer over the ice. Marat is now on the ice along with Shack. Pass to Keon. For Shack, it was behind him. Keon. Knocked down. Williams. Over the blue line, a pass to Dornhofer. He's checked by Horton. Horton coming up with a pass to Keon, Mahavlich, and Shack over the line. Mahavlich getting set, closing right in on goal. Shack was standing right in front of the net, nobody near him, but the pass never reached him. Horry, covered by Stanley, gets the puck into the lead zone, centered it right in front. Williams just missed it. Keon ahead to Armstrong. Tried to go around Langlois. Gets it loose. Behind the net. Tried to center to Keon. Langlois covering up. Langlois finally holds it there against the boards for a face-off. And there's a change of players. In the second period, it's now Montreal 3, Chicago 2. Hodge scoring for the Blackhawks, and then Ralph Backstrom for the Canadiens. 4-1 here in favor of the Maple Leafs over the Boston Bruins with 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second period. Ted Green shooting it off the boards. Ellis has knocked him flat. Boyer at center ice to Hillman. Over for Selby. To Boyer. Gets it back to Marcel Cronenbow, and he shot it into the Boston zone. Boyman hit Ellis. Selby was standing right in front of the net. Back to Boyer. Boyer trying to center it. Covered by Green. Jammed out of the play. Then Selby gets a hold of it. Clearing it back. Green is checked by Boyer. Right to Selby. And he couldn't get his shot. Boston bring it back. Down the ice they come. Dillabo takes a long shot. That's wide. Marcel Cronenbow clearing it off the boards, but not out. Wally Boyer. Back to Hillman. Off the boards to Ellis. For Boyer. Boyer just saw Green at the last second. Dillabo covered by Boyer. And Ellis. Runs into Dillabo. Boyman shoots it to an open wing to Warren Stewart. Back to Green. Ted Green then flips one in. Bauer caught it. Larry Hillman's back. Shot around to Ellis. Ellis couldn't get out. Ran into Martin. Hillman to Boyer. He lets it go. And Wojtowicz shoots it right back. And the Bruins are starting to press the Maple Leafs. Shot ahead to Ellis. For Boyer, he couldn't get away. It's knocked back. Now it's Oliver for Moran. He's hit high by Marcel Cronenbow. Down goes Dean Credis. Boyer ahead to Kelly. Over the line. Kelly closing in. Takes his shot. That's the save on Kelly. Puck is shot back into the lead zone, and Horton picks it off. Ahead for Shack to Kelly. Over the line. Kelly right in front. Shack is knocked down by Marat, and there's going to be a penalty there to Marat. That's becoming a very frequent thing, Brian, now. Last time we did the game here, Tony Sarchuk picked up an assist.
I'm waiting for the day when one of them wins the scoring championship.
Well, from the face-off, there's a shot right on. It's hit the Boston player Dillabo right in the head on the way out, and it finally goes down to Douglas. Douglas, Hillman, Kelly, Fulford, and Shack. Back to Douglas. Up for Kelly, knocked it into the corner, goes after it. Still has it. Fulford goes in to help him out. Back to Hillman. Hillman took his shot, and Shack is knocked down by Green. Shack goes to the board. Boyman bumped by Fulford. Green golfs it down the ice. Going back for it is Douglas. Fulford. Back to Douglas. Up to Shack. Off his skate. Boyman goes to the boards. Shot it, but it was called back for a face-off in the lead zone. And Brian, everybody's taking a shot at Sean.
I was going to say, he must feel like one of these fellows who loses his way walking across a target range or something. Everybody taking pot shots at him.
Well, there you see the score. Toronto Maple Leafs 4, the Boston Bruins 1. And there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this second period. And that Grady has got the rifle range, and they're not missing.
No, not this time.
On the face-off, it comes back to Armstrong, but Boyman beat him to it, knocking it back. Picked off by Hillman. Ahead to Armstrong. To Keon with Mahovlich. Get it over the line. Mahovlich had to stop. Green knocked it to the corner. Then Prentice went after with Douglas. Green and Douglas shoved together, and Douglas then is knocked down by Prentice. Exactly 2 minutes remaining now in this second period. Douglas, and then 3 goals in a row by Britt Selby and 1 by Green. And we have a 4-1 hockey game in this second period in favor of the Maple Leafs. Here's a shot by Douglas, just off the target. Larry Hillman fakes a shot over to Douglas, to Mahovlich. Mahovlich coming in front, shoots. Another shot. It's all around the net, and Parent finally comes up with it outside the goal crease.
Quite a jam up in front of that Boston net as the Big M moved in close, and Bernie Parent was able to spot the puck and catch a hold of it. You know, Hap Ems did a little research on his rookie goaltender, Bernie Parent. He went back through the record books in Junior A competition for some 30 years and discovered that Parent had the best goals against average of any Junior A goaltender, 2.7 over the past 30 years.
I'm sure, Brian, that everybody feels that Parent is a real comer for the National League. Here's Hillman, a shot. That was knocked down by Langlois, shot down the ice, a race for the puck. Douglas gets back. Westphal knocked him out of position. There's a shot, and that's wide. Keon races down the ice with Armstrong. Over the line. Keon stops. Still has it. Getting in front of the net. Takes his shot. Armstrong a drive. And Parent covers up outside the goal crease again. We have a face-off now in the Boston zone to the right. Wally Boyer with Britt Selby and Ron Ellis. From the face-off to Bob Wojtowicz, number 8, behind the goal. He's chased back there again by Boyer. Boyer raced in after him. The Bruins were at full strength. A long pass for McKenzie over the blue line. Selby covers his man. Alan Stanley goes behind the net. Feeds a pass to Boyer. Boyer tried to get away. Jusic covered. Ellis gets a hold of it. Ahead to Boyer. Boyer over the line, but it's outside as Ellis went in ahead of him.
You notice, Bill, how often Wally Boyer plays with one hand on the stick. Now, coach ordinarily would tell a player, come on, keep both hands on the stick, but he's as effective playing that way as any player I've ever seen. He really gets the job done.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I understand in Montreal, when they practice, nobody dares take their hands off the stick. Well, Toe Blake will be right on their neck. Here, over the line now for Ellis. Ellis back to Boyer. Boyer back for Ellis. Selby standing right in front. Ellis has it. Back to Stanley. Shot it back for Boyer. Back for Selby. And Marat and Selby bump together, and then Boyer and Marat get mixed up. Back over the line for Kenzie. A shot in front of the net. And the rebound was just knocked wide. Horton. Ahead for Selby, too far. Marat shoots it to an open wing. Stanley starts back for the Leafs. He goes over the line, takes his shot wide. Ellis let it go, and there goes the bell.
There's a look at the first and second period summaries. Now let's go back upstairs to Bill Hewitt and recap Britt Selby's hat trick.
Shot it out. Selby races after him. He's got it loose. He's in the clear. Right in on goal. He shoots it goal. Marcel Pronovo. Then to Selby. Right in front. Trying to hit a skate. Just failed to go in the corner. Here's right in front again. Scores! Selby! Knocked it in the net. Hillman tipped it over to Marcel Konovo. There's his shot. Right in front. He scores! Selby!
You're watching Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. Britt Selby, our guest, and his first career NHL hat trick, and just maybe a year later, maybe one of the lowlights. You break your leg and are not a part of the '67 Stanley Cup team, and in fact, it's back to the minors.
That's right, Joe. It's a long story. In September, we go to training camp, and Punch feels that I'm not in good shape. I pull my groin. I play with it, and through September and October, and I remember I was in October that we were at a party at Keon's after a Sunday night game, and Punch wants to see me, and I went down to the office, and he said, "You were sending you to Vancouver." Now that's a long story too. Punch had promised Vancouver's owner, Coley Hall, a player if he had allowed Billy McNeil, who has been a star the previous year, to try out with the Leafs that year. Billy didn't make the team that year, but the promise still held. So I was the player who went to Vancouver.
Player to be named later.
That's right, and I played a number of games under somebody you'll probably recognize, Bert Olmsted, who was a real taskmaster, just like Punch was. And Bert and I didn't get along too well together. I thought he was a taskmaster. So we had different outlooks on life. And in December, we were playing a game in San Diego, and I was coming down the ice, and I went around the defenseman, and he tripped me, and I broke my leg. So I was through for that year. Punch had told me I'd be back with the Leafs that year, but I wasn't. So I came back, and I rehabilitated my leg. The Leafs went on to win the Stanley Cup, which I was very happy for them, excited. And fortunate for me, I was not protected in the draft. I think they protected Red Kelly at the time because they were trying to make a deal with Los Angeles, which was another expansion team. I think Red went on to coach that team the first year. And I was picked up in the third round by Philadelphia, which was very fortunate for me because I think in two years I tripled my salary. And when I came back to Toronto, I was making as much or more than people like Johnny Bauer, I hear. Now that's
alleged.
Alleged.
Now, of course, those salaries were not public knowledge in those days, were they?
That's right. But I remember Punch was not too happy with the contract because he couldn't believe that I was making as much money as I was.
And he was scared to death you might tell Bauer.
That's right.
That's right. So the Maple Leafs and Britt Selby have got the lead, and Britt Selby has his first career hat trick. This is January 15th, 1966. Leafs and Bruins on Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV.
For this final period, Boston in their white uniforms defend the north end of my left, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are dark blue at the south end of the right. And it's Pulford, Kelly, and Shack, Horton, and Stanley. And the same Tommy Williams that Ryan was talking to is right out there at center ice with McKenzie and Busick on the wings, Green and Boyven on the defense. And from the face-off, Williams gets that puck into the Leafs zone. Horton after it for Stanley. Tried to get it ahead to Pulford. Pulford gets it out over the line. Kelly races after it. Down over the line with Pulford, closing in. Kelly shoots, and he's shot wide. Straight to the blue line, but not out. Williams gets away from Pulford and Shack. Down the ice to center, up over the blue line. Tried to go all the way, and Alan Stanley checked him. Clearing it out to center ice, where Ted Green shoots it right back in again, but Williams, taking his time coming out, was offside. Referee John Ashley, and the linesmen are Brian Sopp and Brent Castleman.
The Boston Bruins are having a rather miserable season, but let's go back a few years to 1940-41 when they compiled the longest winning streak in the NHL history, 23 straight games.
Murray Oliver out there, Brian, with Eddie Westfall and Dean Prentice. Here's Pulford just trying to get away, but he couldn't as Oliver turns for Boston. Over the line, tried to go through. Eddie Shack picks it up, passing it to Pulford. Fulford at center over the line, takes his shot, that's wide. Goes after it himself, down went Wojtowicz. Kelly lost his stick. Westfall, a long pass for Prentice. Over the line, back to Oliver. Westfall was cruising in, Shack covered him. Kelly gives it to Shack, down the ice, takes a long shot, and that was deflected by Parent up into the crowd.
Just to go back a second or two, Bill, I said the longest winning streak in NHL history. I should say the longest undefeated streak, because the 23 games they went without a defeat. It was made up of 15 victories and 8 ties. That's from December 22nd, 1940 to February 25th, 41. So far this year, they've won 7, lost 24.
On the faceoff, went over Prentice's stick. Marat cleared it, but not out. Hillman knocked it back into the corner. Wojtowicz picks it up behind the net. Number 8 coming out for the Bruins. A pass ahead for Westfall. He handed it right to Mahavlich. Mahavlich to Armstrong. Back to Mahavlich. Going around Marat. Takes his shot. Parent made the save. Clearing pass at center. Broken up by Hillman. To Keon, who tips it right back into the corner. And Mahavlich steals the puck. Tried to center it. Covered by Wojtowicz. Shot it, and Oliver gets a hold of it, clearing it up for Prentice. Out to center, and Hillman has it. To Keon. Dave Keon back in his own zone. To Hillman. Up for Armstrong off his skate. And Westfall shot it in, and Hillman gets it again. To Armstrong. Up to Mahavlich. Over the line. Keon tried to get loose. Marcel Pronovo closing in. And on his first try, ahead for Mahavlich. Mahavlich centered it, and there was nobody there. Back down the ice for Prentice. Over the blue line. Back to Oliver. Right in front for Westfall. Armstrong was there, and Mahavlich's turn. Ahead to Keon. Up for Armstrong. Over the line. Watched by Langlois. Armstrong behind the net. Covered. Mahavlich goes after it. Tried to center it. He's jammed in on the boards by Green, and there's no further play. This half, face-off in the Boston zone to the left. Bernie Parent. Boyer, Selby, and Ellis. Ellis tried to get a hold of it. Stewart knocked it to Martin. Martin with Dillabo on his left over the line, and Stanley's right there to break it up. Ahead to Ellis. Ellis has got a break on the right wing. Closing in on goal. Right in on goal. He shoots. And Parent made the save, and Ellis was shoved into the net.
Well, Ellis was in all alone on that one, and Parent refused to move until Ellis made his play, and then Ellis tried to jam it under Bernie Parent, knocked him down, and then Langlois moved in quickly and rammed Ellis right into the Boston cage.
And Brian, I think usually you'll find it's the goalkeeper that gets the worst of it. Here's Ellis, a drive, and that was wide on the face-off. Boyer tried to get a hold of it down the ice for Langlois. Stopped by Stanley. It was right there. Stanley comes back up, shoots it over to the right side, and Langlois shoots it back to center. It's tipped by Boyer to Stanley. Ahead for Selby too far. And Selby and Green bumped together. And there, Brian, you had a clash between Britt Selby, the rookie, and Ted Green, perhaps one of the real tough customers of the National Hockey League.
Well, that's what they say in New York, anyway.
On the face-off, Stanley over to Horton. Up to Ellis. Over the line with Boyer. A slip pass through for Selby. He's ridden off by Stewart to Boyer. Wally Boyer keeping it in. Back to Selby. Took his shot. And made the save on that drive. Ellis is jammed. Boyer is hit by Dillabo. Play is called, and Green and Selby were mixing it up again in front of the net.
If any other goals are scored in the interim.
On the face-off, here's Selby getting his shot. Green got a piece of it. Cleared by Langlois along the boards. It's back right to Selby. Took his shot. Brent made the save. Boyer went after it. Green knocking it behind the net. Cleared it around on the boards. Races after it. On the ice for Green. Knocked it over the line. Selby gets back to cover up. Stewart tries to knock him down, finally does, and holds it there for a face-off. And we're at the 4:40 mark of the final period, with the Leafs leading 4-1.
One thing about Ted Green, he does not go unnoticed out there. And the same might be said of the rookie, Gilles Marat. And that reception is for number 6, Ted Green, as he skates to the Boston bench.
Tommy Williams is back out now at center ice with Busick on the left side and McKenzie on the right, along with Wojtowicz and Marat.
Speaking of the authentic hat trick that Selby's picked up tonight, I believe it was Telegram columnist Bob Pennington who brought to the attention of the vast Canadian public that it must be 3 straight goals before it can be called an authentic hat trick.
And we have them tonight. Selby at 8:36, 9:01, and 9:48. 3 in a row. 1 in the first period, a carryover into the second with 2. A long pass, Eddie Shack. Takes a shot, hit Marat. Shack goes after it again. Still has it, then checked by Busick, and Pulford knocked it back. Williams over the line, but left the puck. Williams goes back for it at the checker line at center. Takes a long shot, was hit by Pulford. Bauer to Hillman, to Kelly, checked by Williams. Hillman shot it around on the boards for Kelly, and Kelly comes out with Pulford and Shack. For Pulford, too far. Wojtowicz, bumped by Pulford. Kelly couldn't get it out as it's underneath Wojtowicz, and there will be a face-off.
I think when we played, Bill, we'd be happy to accept 3 goals in a season or a career.
Well, it's certainly something for a rookie, Brian, that's for sure. And I'm just wondering how many rookies have hat tricks. Maybe we can look that up in the next week or so. On the face-off, the puck goes to the corner. Pulford holding the Bruin player there, and we'll start all over. All set to go for the face-off in the Boston zone to the right. Williams facing off with Pulford. Pulford gets the draw. Marcel Pronovo took his shot. Jack tried to deflect it. Parent holds onto it long enough for a face-off. And we played 5 minutes and 31 seconds of the final period. And the Leafs are leading 4-1. They outshot Boston in the second period 11-10 and 14-11 in the first period. On the face-off, Boston gets the draw. Marat, the pass to Williams. He overskated it. And Wojtowicz's pass intercepted by Shack. Shack goes down the ice, over the line. Covered by Williams. Passed it back, and Busick has it. Busick going down with McKenzie. Over the line. Williams trailing. Busick trying to center it. He did, and Williams missed it. Now it's Hillman. Carrying around for Kelly. Up to Pulford. Offside.
Well, there's Eddie Shack. Boy, he got off to a good start in Montreal the other night, scored the opening goal at 21 seconds. The Leafs went on to beat the Canadiens 6-0, and they piled up a 4-0 lead here tonight before Boston was able to beat Bauer. That's 10 straight goals without a reply over the course of 2 games.
And from the face-off, Prentice a shot. Bauer made a save on that one. Boston still have it. Here's Green. His shot, and that's way out into the end blues. Almost to the top of the next section.
Bobby Pulford, of course, I think we said enough about Bobby Pulford between the first and second period when we were running over our mid-season all-star selections, but he certainly came in for a lot of attention by the selectors on Hockey Night in Canada, and justly so.
From the faceoff brand, the puck goes to Mahavlich, to Keon, to Stanley. Alan Stanley flips it off the boards to center. And Leo Boylan picks it off right by Green. Keon takes over to Mahavlich. Over the line, Mahavlich closing in. Tried to send it for Armstrong, get the shade too far. Keon let it go. Prentice coming out. Stopped by Mahavlich, who took the puck away from him. Mahavlich gets it over the line. Keon races in. A pass for Mahavlich. Failed to collect. Green has it in his skates and on his stick. Passing it for Westfall, who gets away from Mahavlich. Coming down to center. Over the line. Shot it right in front, and Murray Oliver just missed it. Boyven got it around behind the goal. Oliver stopped by Stanley. Long pass to Armstrong. Armstrong with Keon. Over the line, Armstrong fakes the shot. Tried to go all the way. And Green was there. Green fell. Mahavlich centered it. Gets it again. Back to Horton. Horton took a shot into the corner. Armstrong with it. For Mahavlich, failed to click. Stanley took his shot. Laurent caught it. Green gets the loose puck. Pass to Westfall. All the way to center. Horton to Armstrong. Shoots it in. Ellis comes over the boards. And Stemkowski. Goes to Stanley. Pass for Stemkowski. Broken up by Prentice over the line. Prentice takes his shot. It goes to the corner. Stemkowski. Behind Selby and Murray Oliver. To Stemkowski, and he was slashed. Ellis ran into the referee, and there's going to be a penalty there to Murray Oliver.
Oliver goes to the penalty box for slashing as he took a swipe at Stemkowski in the corner.
Boston penalty number 16, Oliver. 2 minutes for slashing. The time 8:19.
They're at the 8:19 mark of this final period. The Leafs leading 4-1 and have a man advantage, 6 men to 5. Wojtowicz to Marat, right onto Douglas's stick. Gives it back to Hillman, to Selby, to Stemkowski, who was hit by Dornhofer. Douglas to Ellis, over the line, closing in, gets right around Marat, in right in front, and he shot deep field to find the corner. Hillman keeps it into Selby. Back to Douglas. There's his shot, and Perrette made the save on that.
Classy play there by Ron Ellis. As the Leafs go to the power play, he almost got a goal with some neat work right in front of Bernie Perrette.
I noticed, Brian, if you look at Ron Ellis's stick, he hasn't got that taper in the front now. He's having difficulty controlling it. Here's Douglas with a shot. Stemkowski tried to deflect it. Into the boards went Dornhofer with Stemkowski, and they both went down. That's John Ory, number 26. The Bruin player that Stemkowski hit. Dornhofer was at the rim of the circle, number 27.
The Bruins have the third best record for penalty killing in the league. They successfully kill off penalties 81.5% of the time, right behind Chicago and Detroit.
On the faceoff, Douglas kept it in. A pass to Hillman, his shot stopped by Marat. Marat shot it but not out. Hillman keeping it in. Douglas for Ellis. Stemkowski trying to get his shot. And Marat gets it up to Ory. Ory over the Leaf line. Passed it in front, and Douglas stopped it. Stemkowski clearing it off to the side. Dornhofer covered the Leaf player. It's against the boards. No further play. And there's 54 seconds left on the penalty to Murray Oliver. But the score 4-1 in favor of the Maple Leafs. This half of tonight's shot down the ice. On the face-off. Stopped by Perrette. Marat covered by Kelly. Backhands it to the blue line, but not out. Douglas to Kelly. Tried to center for Pulford. Pulford back to Kelly. Kelly trying to get it loose. Pulford kicked it to Kelly. Back for Pulford. Pulford in the corner. Coming from the side. Back to Douglas for Kelly. And Wojtowicz hit by Kelly. The puck goes loose. Fulford after it. Wojtowicz holds it for a faceoff. 17 seconds remaining in Murray Oliver's penalty.
And the Bruins are making changes as the Hard Rocks come out. Leo Boyven and Ted Green among them. Ron Stewart and Bob Dillabaugh. Billy Goldsworthy has been sent down to Oklahoma City by the Bruins. And Forbes Kennedy is not yet back in action. He's recuperating from a broken toe.
Face-off in the Boston zone to the right. It comes back past Douglas down the ice. Bauer decides to wait, and Hillman picks it up. Murray Oliver is getting set to return in 8 seconds. Douglas leading a 4-man rush. A long shot off the board. Shack after it. Took his shot. And Kelly centered it. Douglas picks it up. Takes a drive right on. And Parent's got it and holds it for a face-off. Gilles Tremblay from Henri Richard and Claude Provo at 1:53 of the third period. It's now 5-3 in favor of Montreal. On the face-off, it's cleared to the blue line. Here comes Kit Martin. Dillabaugh on his left, Stewart on the right. Over the line for Martin. Passed it back. Boyven getting set. Lets his shot go. It hits Stanley. And Fulford clears it ahead for Kelly. Kelly and Shack, one man back, closing in together, right for Shack. Oh, right in front of the net, Fulford shoots to score!
Oh, a pretty play right from the leaf corner. As the puck bounced off Stanley, Fulford feeds Kelly up the boards, and he has Shack flying up the wing, but the pass gets locked in Shack's skates. Kelly tries to bang it home, and finally Fulford just flips it into the upper corner to get the goal. Fulford gets the goal. Kelly and Shack will probably get assists.
Scored by number 20, Fulford. Assist, number 23, Shack, and number 4, Kelly. Time, 10:51.
Offside as the puck was cleared into the Boston zone. And it'll come all the way back into the Leaf zone, actually icing as the Leafs had cleared it from their own side of center. But you heard the public address system. Fulford's 17th goal from Kelly and Shack at 10:51. There's now 8 minutes, 58 seconds remaining in the hockey game. On the face-off, it's shot over for Mahavlich. He turned in his own zone, trying to get away from Martin. Left it for Hillman. It's tipped out for Armstrong at center. He couldn't reach Mahavlich with a relay. Keon goes back into his own zone. He turns to Frank Mahavlich. Up to Armstrong. Armstrong gets into the Boston zone. Boyven took him out of the play. It goes loose. Picked up by Martin. Martin out over his own blue line, having difficulty. Then takes a long shot, and Bauer has this line out to the side, anticipating a bounce. Hillman watched by Stewart and roughed up along the boards. Martin gets it loose. And Keon shoots it for Marcel Pronovo, and Frank Mahavlich takes it to Keon. He's checked by Dillabaugh to Martin, but Dillabaugh didn't reach the relay. Played by Marcel Pronovo to Frank Mahavlich for Keon. Keon races out with Armstrong. Hillman behind him. Keon closes in with a shot, and that was stopped. Green, a pass on the left wing. Armstrong running into Dillabaugh. Seemed to hurt himself. Mahavlich, number 27, a pass for Armstrong at the blue line, and Boyven just knocked him down. And Boyven feeds Busick up over the blue line. And his pass is tipped loose. Mahavlich couldn't get to it. Busick gets another try to Martin. Marcel Pronovo gets in ahead of him. Holds it there. And there's no further play. Back for Stanley behind the Leaf goal. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the game. 5-1 for the Leafs. Selby's got a break. One man back. Right to Ellis. Right in there, goal. He shoots. Shot wide from point-blank range. Back come the Bruins. Over the line for McKenzie. A shot. Bauer stopped it. For Ellis. Martin picks it off. Stopped by Williams. Right in front. Oh, and Bauer's got that right on the goal line as he just got his pad in the way. Hodge has scored from Hay and Lundy at 5:01 of the final period. It's now Montreal 5, Chicago 4. Stanley beats Stankowski. Over on the right side to Ellis. Over the line. Still has it. Marat checked him. And Selby to Stankowski. Shot it right to Stanley. There's a shot. And Stankowski just failed to put it in the net. It comes back in front again. There's a shot. Right on. Another shot. And Selby missed the rebound. Right in front to Stanley. And he shot it wide. Ellis to Stankowski. Stankowski behind the net. Still has it. Taken out of the play and dumped by Wojtowicz. Shot off the boards to Busick. Busick coming to center. Over the line. Still has it. Passing it for McKenzie. His shot. Oh, that just missed the corner as Bauer was going the other way. Stankowski shooting it for Stanley. Selby tries to get it out. It's out over the line. Selby failed to get loose, and they're being replaced now as Kelly and Shack come over the board. There's Marat, covered by Shack, knocked down. And Shack ran into Busick and knocked him flat. There's a shot, and Bauer stopped that. Eddie Shack carrying it to the blue line, but not out. Now Marcel Pronovo shoots it over the line. Hooford knocking it down the ice. Kelly races after it. Getting in front of the net. He shouldn't score!
Persistence pays off for Red Kelly as the puck goes to the far boards and Pulford gets around one man, banging it up the boards. Here comes Kelly. He shoots and scores. The Leafs lead it 6-1. Pulford will get one assist. Possibly the only one. We'll wait and see.
Toronto goal scored by number 4, Kelly. Assist number 20, Fulford, and number 3, Pronovo. The time, 14:50.
14:50, Kelly from Pulford and Pronovo. Shack tried to get it loose. Pulford unable to cover Prentice. Prentice gets up over the Leaf line. There's his shot, and Bauer got that. Kelly pass to Pulford. Ahead to Shack. Over the line. Back for Pulford, and it was broken up by Green. Ahead to Westfall. Over the blue line. Back to Oliver. A shot right on, and that was stopped by Bauer. Now Kelly. To center. Long pass for Eddie Shack. Took his shot, and Parent caught that. It's stopped by Pulford. Pulford trying to center it. Still has it. Here's Eddie Shack racing after it. Back to Hellman. There's his shot. And he rifled it wide. Shack kept it in. Kelly went after it. To Pulford. Shack standing right in front. And Waylaw plays it over to Dean Prentice down the left side. A long pass here for Oliver over the blue line. He's hit by Marcel Pronovo. And the puck is clear to Pulford. Pulford and Shack going together. Pulford over the line. Shack tried to cruise in with him, and they were just spun out of the play. Back for the Bruins. Oliver over the line. Back to Prentice, a shot. Stanley has it. Feeds Mahavlich. Back to Pulford to Mahavlich. Mahavlich shoots. And strong. Right in front for Pulford and his skate. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining as Horry goes into the Leaf zone, number 26. Martin was knocked down by the Boston player, and they hold it for a face-off. Three minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the game. 6-1 for the Maple Leafs. Ryan?
Well, Selby isn't the only rookie in the area of the hat trick tonight. Ken Hodge of Chicago, another rookie, has a hat trick against the Montreal Canadiens. So this seems to be rookie night in the NHL.
And from the face-off, there's a shot. Bauer got a piece of it. Stanley. Check. Boston trying to center it. Keon gets it, but not out. Wojtowicz shot it into the corner. Stanley, a back pass to Horton. To Armstrong, back to Keon. Keon up at center to Mahavlich. Into the Boston zone, Wojtowicz. Taken into the boards by Mahavlich. Armstrong getting in front of the net. Gets that right in on goal, he shoots. Oh, it's hit the goalpost. It hit the goalpost and went right out behind Parent. Here's Keon, right in front of the net. Takes his shot. Armstrong a base. Oh, and that one went out in between his legs and out the other side. Back for Boston. Over the line. Offside.
Armstrong still can't believe that puck didn't go in. He took a look back at that Boston cage.
This half of tonight's game is brought to you by Molson's. All set for the face-off. Williams, Kenzie and Busick, Green and Boyven. A long shot. Bounces wide of Bauer. And Tim Horton has it with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Pass to Keon. Mahavlich and Armstrong. A pass for Mahavlich, and Green knocks it back at center. Stanley helping the puck into the Boston zone. Green gets the rebound off the boards. Green to Boyven. Passed it right in front to Mahavlich, and Mahavlich just failed to see it coming. Williams up over the leaf line, getting in on goal, and he went too far. Centered it, and McKenzie couldn't get a drive. Armstrong for Keon, broken up. Busick to Williams, to McKenzie, closing in. Behind the net, trying to center it, and Stemkowski has it. Stemkowski, checked by McKenzie. Shot it back. 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Busick to Green. Takes his shot. That hit a leg. Busick with it again. Right in front of the net, and it comes over to Stemkowski. Stemkowski deflecting it at center ice. Went right between his legs, coming the other way. A pass to Selby. Shot it into the Boston zone. Stemkowski after it. And Selby gets a hold of it. Shot it right in front of the net. Hillman moves up. Right in, he shoots. Right in front of the net. And Stemkowski failed to get the rebound. Held for a faceoff.
Well, Stemkowski almost got that goal he's been looking for so long. Lying right in the goal crease. He just couldn't put the stick on it and poke it home.
We have 35 seconds remaining. 6-1 the score in favor of the Maple Leafs. A false start. That's Dornhofer out there now with Murray Oliver. On the face-off, Stemkowski had the draw. Oliver tried to break away. Couldn't. Now they'll try it again. Oliver comes up over the leaf line, takes his shot. That's wide. Oliver left it behind the net as the turning pass to Ellis. And Marcel Pronovo breaks away with 15 seconds to Stemkowski. Stemkowski trying to get loose, and he couldn't. Ellis leaves the ice. He seemed to hurt himself. And Selby hit from behind by Green. And there will be a penalty to Green for cross-checking.
Well, Green took a run at Selby from the rear and rammed him into the glass, hitting him shoulder high. Gets the penalty. Meanwhile, Ellis went to the Leaf bench as Green heads for the penalty box. I didn't see what happened to Ron Ellis, but he was injured.
Green, 2 minutes for cross-checking. The time 19:57.
Brian, I think it was his right ankle. I think perhaps maybe he had a stick on the ankle. Either that or a puck that was being cleared out of the Leaf zone may have glanced off his ankle. But it looked like his right ankle. On the face-off. Clearing pass over to Flagler.
Maple Leafs win the game by a score of 6-1, highlighted by Britt Selby's first ever NHL career hat trick. Let's revisit those goals.
Shot it out. Selby races after him. He's got it loose. He's in the clear. Right in on goal. He shoots the goal. Marcel Tonable. Then to Selby. Right. And hit his skate. Just failed to go in the corner. Here's right in front again. Scores! Selby. Knocked it in the net. Gilman tipped it over to Marcel Tonable. There's his shot. Right in front. He scores! Selby.
You're watching Molson Canadian's Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. The Maple Leafs win this game rather handily, and Britt Selby scores his first NHL hat trick. You win the Calder Trophy later on in the year, and the beginning of the next season, the first home game, it is presented to you, is it not?
Yeah, the Premier of Ontario, the Conservative John Robarts, was there. I guess he was probably a friend of Mr. Ballard or Mr. Smythe. And I was awarded, he presented me the trophy at center ice.
Now, there's a huge NHL awards program now that goes on at the end of the season. Was there anything like that back then?
At the annual All-Star game, there was an awards banquet on the night prior to the game, and we flew down on a Friday. I had a big cast on with my crutches. I wasn't in a good mood, but I remember it because I remember the stars that were there. Hull, Makita, and Ullman were there. And on the Friday night, I accepted the award, and I can remember it. I was feeling so uncomfortable the next morning. Instead of remaining for the game, I flew home with my Calder plaque.
Now, that was a bit of a change, too, because earlier on, the All-Star game was played to start the regular season, and it was the NHL Stanley Cup champion played against the All-Stars that went on. So this was a mid-season type of thing that was a little bit different. Now, did you get any money for the award, Britt? Was there a cash donation to the Selby bank account?
Well, in total, I think I received, overall about $1,250. Now, I don't know how the breakdown was, but I think it was for leading at the middle of the year and then being second at the second part of the year. So it was $1,250. I don't think I had a bonus for the Calder Trophy. Well, at the time, we didn't have agents. And so I was going in as a 19-year-old grade 13 student with not too much financial expertise. I learned quite quickly, though.
I bet you did. Now, one of the things we want to find out is what's Britt Selby up to these days?
Well, next year will be the start of my 27th year in teaching. I'm currently employed with the Toronto Board of Education, and next year is my 20th year at North Toronto Collegiate, where I teach history.
All right. Well, it's been a historical night for us all here, and if we can come up with $1,500 to put you over the top on that award, will you take the hex off?
I'm not too sure, Joe. I have to be more than that.
All right. Well,
I've learned a little.
You have learned then. We're going to try and get all of our viewers here on Leafs TV to try and get that hex taken off so we can get a Calder Trophy winner back in Toronto. Britt, thanks for being our guest. We've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. The Leafs beat the Boston Bruins January the 15th, 1966. And you've been a part of it along with Britt Selby's first career NHL hat trick because you've been watching Molson Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV.
Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.